Blessings and welcome to the channel. This is Lady B Unstoppable. If it's your first time, remember to subscribe. In this video, you will be hearing from some of the students who were in Ukraine, and I think some of them are still there based on what Mark Golding said. I don't know what transpired between yesterday and today. But guys, today is the 26th of February. But guys, last night it was so devastating to watch the news because I was watching that Ukraine channel. But anyway, guys, you will also be hearing from Mark Golding, who initiated that he used his own money to help those students, right? And then the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Anju, Holness, he will be talking as well. But I'm telling you guys, based on listening to different sources and different radio stations, it was alleged that the Jamaican students asked Anju them for help. And they said they could not help that the time. And if you not believe me, no go on YouTube and know we hear the girl talk. She said them asked Anju for help and they said they could not help at that time. And 2 weeks after, when it start get more serious, that the time the Anju them say they gonna loan them the money to buy plane tickets. What kind of loan money in a crisis? Oh, you they gonna loan people money in a crisis? And they probably already owe much money for their school fee and there. But let me tell you something, guys. Me want you to listen to Andrew Holness. Listen to him and tell me what you think about the situation. But first, we're going to listen to what the students had to say.
Number of students that have taken up the offer, and the offer is to get a one-way ticket back home. And I guess some other students that did not take up the offer were considering the fact that, like, let's say first-year students, you have to pay over 1 million Jamaican dollars to get to the country. They just came here, let's say 4 or 5 months ago. One of the main reasons why we came to Ukraine was because we cannot afford tuition fees in Jamaica, USA, or any other country. And for them to leave in such a short time and to know that it's a loan from the government probably did not sit right with them.
Weeks before all of this escalated, I met in an accident and the car was damaged. So our only way out when things started to escalate was to get a bus and come across, because the trains were full, the planes were filled, and the only next option for us, what I saw, was to jump on a bus. I didn't like Mr. Putin's warships in the Black Sea, because he brought a whole bunch of warships over there, and we would have been directly in line of fire for him, those ships. And that's why we came out west. Being awoken after about maybe an hour's sleep this morning, we heard the sirens outside, and my wife is telling me they started bombing. And, you know, you sit there and you listen to this, but you can't believe that what she's saying, you know. And then her phone starts ringing, you know, her family's calling, telling they're hearing bombs over where we just left. The entire thing is just escalating. And, you know, if you look at Ukraine, they're going through all the cities right now. They have bombed all the airports. They're bombing all the military bases.
That was the situation with those students. Now you're going to hear from Mark Golding, who will be telling you how he was able to assist and in what capacity. Listen to what Mark Golding have to say.
I've made contact with Jamaican students who are still in Ukraine, hoping to be able to assist them to leave that war-torn country. With the support of some friends, we've arranged $10,000 to assist the students with transportation or other necessities. I've also contacted the Prime Minister to see if funds can be routed. These funds can be routed through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, as I want to ensure that all the efforts that are being made are coordinated and seamless. It's a very challenging situation and it changes rapidly. At the request of the students this morning, I have already provided a personal donation to cover the cost of purchasing train tickets for 25 students from the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. They're trying to get to Poland. This morning, one of the students and I were in dialogue, and I was able to advance the sum to cover those tickets via direct transfer into his bank account. Unfortunately, by the time they were able to get to the purchase of the tickets, the train was already fully booked. But they are continuing to try to find other options to leave. And I just want to assure the students and their families that we will continue to do whatever we can to assist them and continue to lobby the government to act in their best interest.
That was Mark Golding, and we want to big him up for doing the best he can to assist those students at that time. Now we're gonna hear from Anju Holness, the Prime Minister. No, I don't know what he's saying with regards to the loan, but basically I think he's refuting the fact that there was a loan involved in a crisis. So guys, listen to what Anju Holness have to say. Drop your comment in the comment section. Give me a real feedback.
There are 27 students that remain in the Ukraine. 25 are in a city called Kharkiv, and one is in Kiev. 15 students have left the Ukraine. I have taken note of the public conversation regarding the government's attempt at assisting the students. In a time of crisis, in a time of war as this is for those students who are stuck in the Ukraine, the only effort of the government now must be to get them out. And we will be using all our efforts, all our channels, all our connections and friendships to ensure that we can safely get our students home, if they so choose to come, because that is always a variable in the equation, the personal choices that free people make. And so there is this conversation regarding an offer of a loan for travel. I can say categorically that at this point in time, we would just offer to assist them to come home if they need the assistance. The offer of a loan to travel must be placed in context. This is not the first time that Jamaican students have been stuck in the Ukraine. In about 2013, 2014, when a similar situation, less intense at the time compared to this, occurred with Crimea, Jamaican students were stuck in the Ukraine. And it was the same procedure. It is not an unusual procedure. This is how most governments operate. They give the facility for their citizens to be able to get air tickets and travel plans right away, and then on their return, a program is worked out for repayment. My understanding is that this facility, which allowed some students then in 2013, 2014, thereabout, in that previous crisis, when they took it up and returned home, it was not pursued. But we are in a very sensitive time, and we understand about people's rights and how people are treated. And that sometimes the conversation does not get a chance to be properly fleshed out, properly analyzed against the other commitments that we get criticized for, which is, where is the accountability for public funds? If people choose to, by their own volition, take their own action, and then that impacts on the public, how do we account for that? And so in making good policy, these are things that governments have to consider. Not just this administration, but administrations before. Not just the Jamaican government, but governments all over. But because we are in this very sensitive time, and the conversations are not always properly led, but some of the conversation is misguided and seeks to caricature the government as uncaring, when the government has to be balancing all kinds of issues. And, you know, if you do well on one, it is likely you're going to be criticized for another. So what we always try to do is do what is right. What is right at this moment? The priority now is to get our students home. For last 2 to 3 weeks or so, my advice is that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs would have been in contact with some of the students there. I wouldn't say that I don't know if they've been in contact with all, but certainly with most of the students who are there. And right now, I believe the contact is still being maintained. We urge the students who are there to keep safe, keep listening to your information services, Keep in touch with the embassy in Berlin and with your families here in Jamaica. Please know that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, as we speak, is trying to figure out how we can make some connections with friendly countries to assist if it should come to that. Presently, our understanding is that the airspace is closed, and the advice would be to stay in place and be as safe as you possibly can given the circumstances. So we pray for the students who are there. We pray for the people of Ukraine that this conflict will end and that there will be no more unnecessary loss of life.
This is the end of another video. Let me know what you guys think about how Mark Golding handled the situation and help out. Also, let me know what you think about how Anju Holness respond to the students and how they offer them loan in the middle of a crisis. So money was more important than the people them life, and that is just my opinion. Talk to me in the comment section. Anyway, if you're new to this channel and you have not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will know whenever I upload a video or whenever I go live. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Stay safe.